trying to keep the camera covered.
What?
Ta-da!
Good morning.
Coming.
I guess. I'm moving slow today. Good morning. Welcome to the excuse me, Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
I'm tired. I'm just like, I can't even find a nice way to say it. Like, and I know most of you out there are like, and what is different? Daylight savings makes it worse. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in downtown, kind of sunny and maybe trying to be warmer than this weekend, Brevard, North Carolina.
Liz, I'm the minion there.
Oh my gosh.
It rained on me on my way to work.
What? Didn't rain on me.
It was just like this one cloud.
Did it just go like puh?
No, it went
Puh.
da 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 da.
That's better than puh.
Da 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 da. And then it stopped.
What? There's no rain in the forecast.
It rained on me on my way to work.
Actually, I think there is a partial rain in the forecast. It's like supposed to be really rainy tomorrow.
Yes. But it was just like one cloud was.
That's not the
stupid.
right thing to open. I'm like, I went to go look at the weather and I opened up the app for like my business, like the little folder for all my business stuff. That doesn't have weather in it.
Nope.
It's gonna be a day. Let me just tell you.
So much.
Like half of the mess in front of me is left over from people looking at yarn last week. The accumulation of the whole week is just sitting there. Might have been from Friday because Friday was busy, but then Saturday was not. Yeah. Okay. 4% chance of precipitation. 60% chance throughout the whole day. I think most of that's tonight, not the ... you had. 92% chance of precipitation tomorrow. Over an inch of rain. Yay. Living in, what is it? A tropical?
A temperate rainforest.
Temperate rainforest, not tropical, temperate. Google it. That's what we live in. We're heading into this season where it's rain, rain, rain all the time. So what was that? Oh. My watch is telling me to breathe. How funny is that, right? What? Yeah. Excuse me while I shift up my boulder holder. So, how was your weekend, Liz?
That
good. Sorry.
It was.
It's been a weekend. Yes.
It was.
Yes. I hear you. Sorry, we're trying to have some energy for y'all today. But oh my gosh. Losing an hour yesterday. I thought it was okay. No, it's not even yesterday. It was 2 days ago. Feels like yesterday. Should I do some AMSR or whatever the thing is?
Sunday was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like by Sunday night, it was 7:30. It felt like 6:30 because the time change, but it also felt like 10:30.
I couldn't tell what time it was anymore.
And then
I just
last night was horrible. So
Liz didn't sleep well last night, and I got woken up. Like just lost my water bottle there. I got woken up by the noise of a cat having trouble with a hairball. If you have a cat, you know that noise, and you hear that noise, and it wakes you out of the deepest sleep possible of, oh crap, what's going on? And my first thought was, this sweater was still laying out to dry. I was like, please don't barf on my sweater. It was not. He was in a different room, but on the same floor. There's not much to my second floor. So, and then I felt bad for him. And then I cleaned up the mess. And then I checked on him and he was just grumpy. And then I went, what time is it? And it was 5:30.
yeah, that's not it.
It was I really should just stay up, but I really don't want to. Like, I could have gotten just a little more sleep.
Just a little bit more.
And you add to that daylight savings, and that's what we are today. Oh man. So you're making COVID balls.
I'm working on the my big COVID ball because I have to wind yarn for all my other projects.
You don't have to wind yarn for your Noro sweater, but are you still figuring? You have to like
put sleeves or neck or something on.
How about when you finish this knot? First of all, you can explain what COVID balls are.
Okay, so it started.
You see what happened was.
You see what happened was. It started as a funny, like, I need something just to occupy my hands. I'm bored. Yes, and
now it's an obsession.
It kind of is. So we have a drawer under our winder with lots and lots of ends, like
from cutting yarn, the ties on twists off, and cutting out knots and things like that. Yeah.
Some people that clip their ends off of their projects throw them in there, and anyway, it's full of ends and knots. So I started just tying the knots or the ends together.
She started making longer yarn out of it, kind of.
Yeah. And before I knew it, I had this ball. And now this is the mother COVID.
Yeah. And then you went, ooh.
So
I could try not to waste as much of the yarn and still have it look cool. Make more of them.
This is my basket of COVID balls. They're styrofoam balls, and I wrap
They're right in front there.
Styrofoam balls. I wrap the yarn around them and then pull out all the little knots, and they look like little COVID balls because they got all the little ends.
Gotta laugh at it, right?
And it's just wacky little things. And I'm going to do a display. If I want to stick skewers in them and make them look like little flower balls or something.
So depending on who comes in and goes, what's that? We might answer COVID balls, or you might just say it's for
a window display. Because people are also like, ooh, can I buy these? And I'm like, no.
Or they're just like, COVID balls. Why the heck would you be making COVID balls?
So I have a puff of scrappies that I am.
So can you? Oh no, she's tying another one. I was gonna say, can you explain why you're not working on your Noro sweater when you've made such great progress on your Noro sweater?
I just had visions of one of the Instagram reels that you sent me yesterday when you go somewhere and you forgot your knitting or whatever. But my hands,
what do I do with my hands?
What am I supposed to do?
It was really funny.
So tying knots.
But what do I do? My hands. I have to. What do I do? I just sit here and be awkward because I can't multitask. But yeah.
So my Noro sweater, second ball of Noro, and
So wait, you did all that with your first ball?
Well, I
kind of, maybe
I did to write in about here.
Okay.
With my first ball.
Okay.
And then spit join, so I don't even know where.
So like 90%, because you do a short crop. It's wide, but it's short. 90% of what you're holding up right now was done with one ball. I mean, the Noro skeins of Ito are 200 grams. It's a lot of yarn.
It's 437 yards.
But that's still, it just rattles that off. But that's still like, that's impressive.
So I have to pick up stitches for a collar and do the collar, because I'll do the collar before I do the sleeves. And then
we discussed this yesterday.
How to do the sleeves. But so that project is not happening right this second.
Well, because we discussed, like, if you want the color to, like, not that it might matter with so many colors, if the color progresses in the same direction or not. But if you want the color to progress in the same direction, then you can't go from the outside and the inside, because they'll go in cross directions if you want to do 2 at a time sleeves. Like I did these sleeves 2 at a time. So she's planning and plotting, and I think it's very smart of her to do the collar first, because then everything that's left can be used for the sleeves. And it's not like you do the sleeves and then crap, I don't have enough yarn for the collar.
I have 176 grams left, so that's more than I thought I had.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So
and you were saying last night that there's not a lot of pink in the bottom of that. It's buried in the ribbing. It's in the ribbing. It's in there.
Yeah.
It's just in the ribbing. It doesn't show as much. Yeah. But I am seeing it in there. Yeah. Anyway. You've got a big, nice wide collar.
Well, once I pick up stitches, it'll
be a little less.
Yeah. So that
head opening.
yes,
Let me call it that until
I
there's a Colorado.
worked on that yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and
But it's not ready to go today.
it's not. Yeah,
And that
there's
might
no
take a little
needles.
more. This is saying 3 grams, just FYI. So you might not have, let me zero it out and you can do that again. It's important to zero your scale because if you're only going by a couple of grams,
Yeah,
it can
3
be off.
grams is life or death.
It
It's
just went-
173 grams.
What was
so
it before? 74?
74.
So that
75,
wasn't actually off by that much. Okay.
So there's
Welcome
that.
to our life.
And then I was working.
I'm just curious how heavy her ball is.
It's 79 grams.
This is 79 grams of yarn.
Because there's everything from like lace weight all the way to super, super bulky.
Mhm.
So
And then yes, you're not working on your Hap Shawl because you need to wind more.
I have to wind more yarn.
because you got really far on it.
And
So wait, is what you're about to hold up what you got with one skein? Two skeins. I was gonna say she's double stranding. 2 skeins got her this much. And have you gotten? I'm feeling dead air because you're twisting
Sorry.
it. You're okay. You're on the decrease.
yes,
Nice.
I got to I decided to make it bigger. So to that stitch marker puts me at 180 across. And so I have decreased some, but it is ginormous.
You have an idea. It's still
Yeah.
squishy on the. It's so squishy and
It is.
soft.
And my first skein took me to
not
right,
fluffy, just soft.
right there.
Okay.
And then
And it got
seconds-
wider, so it
yeah.
doesn't feel like it's going as far, but it's because the rows are wider.
And I just started that row when I ran out of yarn. So
Excuse me.
yay, yarn issues. And because I'm double stranding it, I could have handballed it at home, but because I'm double stranding it, I was like, A,
if
it's
you
lace
handball
weight,
it,
and
then
B,
well,
I
and
will
then you
die.
can't find the inside unless you Nosta pin it, and that takes
wasn't
even
gonna happen.
longer. And so you're gonna wind it in maybe 10-15 minutes here instead of like half an hour at home
Yeah.
or more.
And then
Oh, I forgot stuff. You have lots of stuff to show.
I only
Sorry.
have 3. So
I probably only have 3 as well. So
yeah,
I'm patient.
or yeah.
She knows I'm not.
So I worked on my watercolor
Ooh.
pullover, and
This
I
is by
got
Tiffany Lynn. I'll try to remember to put it in the comments.
I
I'm not
got-
gonna remember anything today. Yes.
just over 2 inches. I mean, it was about an inch on the side. I got just a
2
little-
inches from what?
from the sleeve separation.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep
Sorry.
calling her out on like clarifying because it's like 2 inches on this hot mess that's wadded up
This
in my
hot mess
hands.
is wadded up. It's on a very smaller needle,
But you can still
but yeah.
proof the top.
Ta-da!
That's really pretty.
And so I have this much left of my original bowl, so I separated it into 2, and I'll start blending it in on the sleeves, and then when it's out, it's out. Like, so I'm gonna do sleeves and then go back and finish
Okay.
the bottom.
Like you're gonna use those 2 skeins for the sleeves.
Well, these 2
then-
and the 2 little balls.
I'm like, I don't count those 2 little balls because they're like,
Well, just to
But-
get everything kind of blended.
well, yeah. Well,
a
yeah.
bit,
But
and then-
but then what's left is gonna be like your ribbing at the bottom
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Or yeah. Okay.
so cool. Because I'm not sure how long I'm going to get.
You could always do the bottom cuffs in like the gray again.
I could.
Do you still have gray?
I do.
She's got a gray collar that she
I have
switched from because it didn't.
Gray and
Contrast
purple and
enough.
green. And I probably will, because I found that my sweaters take about 800 yards, or yeah. And I only have 500 yards of this. So I will probably
I have to tape my eyes open today.
Sorry.
How is it? It has
'Cause I'm
nothing to do with you.
boring.
How do you say no? You're not. Oh my gosh. You could be on fire right now and I would still have trouble keeping my eyes open.
I might be on fire soon.
If those
Those
spiders come, yeah.
Don't talk about the spiders.
We're not
I'm
talking
having
about
issues
spiders.
about the spiders, but
I would
Ugh.
still be tired. It has nothing to do with how entertaining you are. Although I think we're both mildly less entertaining today because we're tired. But
so what did you work on besides answering emails and work stuff?
besides doing work when
Yeah.
it's my weekend, and that's another reason I'm tired is I don't actually take a weekend because of my own problems of taking time off and that everybody wants an answer now. It's a thing.
So much.
It's understandable, but it's still a thing. I worked on this. I finished this really late Friday night. So I was wearing it all last week so y'all could see the progress I was making. I basically finished this in just over a week. I would say 8 or 9 days. I'm very proud of that. I blocked it this weekend. So I bound off the sleeves. I think I got a little more length out of the sleeves through blocking. I did not pull on this. I'll get to that in a second. But I got this, like I finished the decreases. I stayed up Friday. Another reason, it's all compounding, right? I stayed up too late on Friday. And that gets to where all the other days of the weekend start to feel worse. Came into work on Saturday so I could wear this. It still had things hanging off. I think I woven the ends here. So I'm bouncing around because there's also someone walking around outside, which is distracting. I finished the decreases and then it's like, then go till it's this long or you feel comfortable. And I put it on with the decreases done for the arms because believe it or not, arms have decreases. They're not just straight usually, unless you want that. It's a very different look, right? Yeah. I did a video on that on tips and tricks. And I put it on and went, I could probably start the ribbing now. So I did one more round after the decreases of just straight knitting and then my 6 rows of ribbing. And I finished it. And I wore this in the shop on Saturday. I posted a picture on Instagram/Facebook. I'll probably put up a before after photo or like an after before photo because blocking did help, like just a little. And this isn't perfect, right? Up here, but it's not quite as bubbly as it was. You can go back and watch last week's videos and you might see, because I was still wearing it half done. The yoke settled just a little longer. My sleeves are a little longer. My torso is a little longer, which actually is nice and comfortable for me. I think for as thick as this is bulky yarn. By the way, it called for 6 of your main color, and this is my 5th. This is my 5th, and this is how much I had left of this is my 6th, so I only used 5. I can't, my brain is getting ahead of my tiredness. This is how much I had left of my 5th. I had to crack into like my 4th for this, and then I used my 4th and my 5th. My 4th, when I finished those, like the one I used over here that I started down here, I had like pretty much almost literally a yard of yarn left after my bind off. So it's another reason I stopped the sleeves where they did, and I really like them. Liz cleaned off the scale so I could weigh this. I was thinking if it ran out, I could use this guy because there's still some left here. 27 grams. So I also, if you remember, the pattern was calling for 2 skeins of this yarn. I did not use 2 skeins. I did crack into my 2nd skein of this color, of the ocean. But I actually put this on Ravelry last night, my very first project to post on Ravelry. And it took time, which is why I haven't been doing it, because it's not as easy as like, look, here's a picture. I mean, I could have just put up a picture, but I tried to put in some details and stuff. Even though, again, let me get back to what I was saying. Even though this is super bulky yarn, not super bulky. Tired. Even though this is bulky yarn, and I did it on a 10.5 needle, I think blocking it actually has some drape now. Like it might have before too. Yeah. But it actually, I mean, I can see some of my curves. Some of them I might not want to see, but it's not like super boxy. It actually is very comfortable. And I think it's the yarn and the needles that's half the reason it went so fast. 3 rows gets you an inch. Fantastic, right? So this is the Arabella Pullover by Melissa Leapman. and she does a lot of the patterns for Juniper Moon Farm, and it's Juniper Moon La Pampa. And so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I use 10 skeins of yarn for this, which is not, super cheap, but it could have been a lot more expensive too. And I did the size, when I asked for a size on Ravelry, I didn't have it was late at night. The pattern was here. I was like, I did the 46-inch size. I don't know which size that is. I can look right now. Go back and edit the thing on Ravelry. Absolutely. The 46, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 is the extra large. This is the extra large size. I will also say that the collar's kind of right against my throat here, and it's, not super high in the back. There's no short rows on this sweater. There's no shaping to help it, like we've talked about it on the show before.
Yeah.
Short rows, other ways that sweaters tend to make the back rise up higher and the front come down lower. Like if you think about, my example I go to is putting a t-shirt on backwards. You put it on backwards, it chokes you a little right here. This sweater, because of its design, and it makes it nice and simple, especially for people who don't want to do short rows. So fast, no short rows. It does ride a little higher in the front. Like I could flip this around. There's no putting this on backwards.
Yeah.
I could flip this around and it would fit the same way. I'm noticing the sample that it comes with, her size, the collar is actually almost like a mock turtleneck on her. I think it's a much smaller size. I picked a size that was going to be comfortable for the girls, which means everything else is a little more relaxed. That's like the dilemma that I find myself in quite often. I'm going to sit back down again. Is I either have to pick a size that is comfortable for the girls, or I pick a size that is comfortable more for my shoulders and my neck, and it's a little tight on the girls. Or I modify, and I don't tend to modify. I don't tend to take the time. I tend to do it just as written. And that means maybe I will pick a bust size that is comfortable for me, and the neck will be pretty big then, like it is here. But this is comfortable. I mean, my t-shirt shows and whatever, I've just kind of given up on that and said, people will overlook that and just look at my beautiful sweater. So, and I'm not as skinny at the waist as I used to be. So the size that's comfortable for my bust often is a nice and drapey over that section of me too. So it all works out. So yes, this was my big project last week. And I blocked it this weekend. I'm probably going to put some photos up on Instagram. I put them here too. We'll see if I have time, because I promised some people I would put some Echo Point photos. We're kind of wrapping up the Echo Point knit along because I want to start a new knit along in April. But if you're not done with your Echo Point by the time April hits, you can still be in the knit along group on Facebook posting about Echo Point. That's one of the reasons I made it a generic knit along group page.
And it's okay, because I haven't worked on mine in a while, and you're not done with yours either.
No, I left it here this weekend. So there's nothing to, I could pull out from under the table and it would look the same as it did last week, because I haven't really touched it and I left it here. So what I did work on other than this guy though, and this was super fun, and I just ripped through it, and I think it's gearing me up for the Ranunculus knit along, because that may or may not go as fast. I want to say the Ranunculus I made, which was super short sleeved, super cropped, didn't take me that long either. But one of the things about our knit alongs is I don't like deadline knitting. So it's not like it's an April knit along, you must finish it in April. Oh my gosh, that just, Echo Point was our January knit along. I'm still working on it.
I finished my blue sweater. I just forgot to bring it in.
Oh, that's right. She finished that before I finished mine.
But it's not a competition.
It's not because I didn't win. No, you finished it on.
I finished it on Friday.
On Friday at the shop,
At the
didn't you?
shop.
Yeah. So she'll wear it in another day this week or two.
Probably
for-
tomorrow, because it's going to be.
Yes, but then I'm going to recommend you bring it in on Thursday as well, even if you don't wear it, because some people don't watch Wednesdays because it's too
True.
dangerous. Because we sell you things. Okay. I hit my I finished my 3rd chunk of colors and started my 4th
Ooh.
on the blanket I'm making for my cousin for his wedding that was last year. So here's where we're at so far.
Ooh, I like it.
And the colors that I've just started that you really can't even see. I'm trying to get this out of here without. I have smoke blue and West Point heather. And it's probably going to be up. We're probably hitting sections where it's almost going to do more of the fade I was hoping for, like the first 2 color sections. Not so much so. There's overlap of color. There's charcoal in both of these. Light gray here, charcoal and smoke heather here. Smoke heather and smoke blue here. And now I'm starting smoke blue and West Point heather. So you can almost see a little bit of more
so
blue up
cool.
there. Yeah. And it is the Together Again blanket pattern from 5410 Studio. And it's just a nice geometric combination of knits and purls. It's really easy to keep track of. I don't need the pattern anymore. And it's reversible. I like that you do 2 rows that are the same and then it switches and do 2 rows that are the same that are just shifted by a couple stitches. And then it's the same, it repeats. So it's gonna have some nice heft to this. This is also on, I believe, 10.5 needles. Same as the sweater.
10.5 needles are happy.
It's happy. The Ranunculus is gonna be on 10s. And so it's just a hair off. And if, excuse me, if you wanted it to be a little more loosey-goosey, have a little more space in it, like pick a smaller size, go up a needle size. I always caution people though on going up or down a needle size just to get a more distinct stitch or a looser stitch if you're making a garment, in that you just don't know how much it's going to change the size unless you do a gauge swatch and you do your math. And I'm in conference with some knitters who did gauge swatches and it worked, and then the sweater's not coming out the right size. And sometimes that's hard to know why. Like this worked pretty well. And I wasn't super careful with my gauge swatching, but I did swatch. I did make sure that my stitch count was roughly accurate. And it's hard to say why that happens.
I did do a ranunculus on the size 11 needle.
Mm-hmm.
I love positive ease. So
I mean, exhibit A being the pattern you just held up.
Yeah, I love positive ease.
Mm-hmm. The ranunculus is meant to have a massive amount of positive ease.
I did go down like 1 size on the pattern when I did the 11, but it is so happy and like massive.
Yeah.
But if you don't like positive ease, you might want to gauge swatch and make sure.
Yes, and we're going to talk more about what positive ease means on Thursday because we've had the question. But it's roominess is one way to think about it. If you don't like something that's super roomy, then you have to be much more careful with gauge and picking a size and all of those things. If you're okay with it being super roomy, if it's a little bit big or small compared to what size it's supposed to be, that doesn't matter. That matters less, right? So like something like this, where it's in parts of me, it's kind of snug. Gauge was really important. And I wasn't sure if it was going to work out or not. I will say when I put on the yoke part, you can go back and look at my Instagram feed. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, you can look at my pictures, scroll way back. Well, by way back, I mean like a week or so ago. I post a lot of pictures. So it's way back for how many pictures I've posted. When I was to about this part of the yoke and I put it on over my head, it was roomy. And then, but I was pretty sure it was going to work out. But then the sleeve separation pulls it in a little bit. But you can also have the issue even after sleeve separation, it's big. So, and some of that is when you're trying to do color work and keep it loose, it gets too loose. I'd rather have it be too loose than too tight. And some of that is depending on how you block your gauge swatch, if you choose. That's why I don't block my gauge swatches, is I don't want to be more aggressive with my swatch than with my sweater. Or if I don't get around to blocking my sweater, if I've measured my unblocked gauge swatch, I have an idea of what will happen if I don't block my sweater. For some people, the opposite is the problem. They need to know what's going to happen when they block it because the yarn could grow excessively. So far, I've had a pretty good run of being able to squish yarn back into shape, even if it wants to get wet and heavy and grow. So there are so many factors into it that it's really hard to have a magic solution or give advice that's going to work for everything.
And some of it's the styles too, because a lot of the all over yoke increases do completely different things than like a raglan sweater. So you're going to have, like, I know with some of your all over increases, it kind of gathers in the back because you had to make a bigger size for the girls. So,
so the
you
back
have a
puckers.
bigger,
Yep. Because I'm not adjusting just for the girls. I'm doing the all over. You're absolutely right. That's one thing that, and if the color work and then under it to try to make it so that it fits for the girls, there are ways to do it, but I'm not an expert, like I'm not going to give the best advice. I could give suggestions and they could be wrong. So, so I have thoughts though, because I have a client who might need some consultation on that. And I have thoughts, but since they're only thoughts, they're not guaranteed. They could be wrong. They're just, take a chance. The last thing I have to show off is, well, let's see. I brought this into wear, and I showed this to you guys last week, my Viking woman, just for comparison of squishiness. Give it a swish compared to your shawl. It's not quite as squishy and soft as Liz's Hap Shawl, I will say, because it's done on a smaller needle. It's done on a smaller needle, really, and it's stockinette. That's true. Instead of the squishy garter. My needle is probably 2 or 3 times the size of yours. I'm still super excited to do a ranunculus with this single-stranded. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like you can read my shirt through it, if I wear my work shirts underneath it, but I don't care. But it's going to be so pretty. Maybe I'll actually wear other clothing, but I don't think I own like clothing without words on it. It's a thing. Okay. So I forget if I showed this off. My Is-A-2, I did. Yeah. I will say, if you don't use, so this is 1 strand of Mayu Lace held with 1 strand of mohair. If you don't use a yarnet or something to contain, and this is in timeout for a while, this is what will happen to your mohair balls. They will start shedding and falling apart. Not falling apart as in the yarn, breaks, but falling just apart as in bleh. The outer layers of this are now over here. And it will, as long as I'm gentle with it, I can still knit with it. Oh yeah. No knots, as long as I'm super gentle with it. If I yank real hard on it and try to mess with things that are becoming knots, they will become knots. But I just did like 2 rows on this. I find that my morning meditations lately, if I haven't worked on a bunch of different things, like I worked on just this, all my morning meditations are things that have very little progress from the last time I put them up. And I know everyone keeps telling me it's okay, no one's paying attention, but I think you are. I'm paying attention, and I think there are some people out there who are paying attention. But I had hoped to start clue 3. This is the Princess Bride Mystery Knit Along, and clue 4 dropped today. I just finished clue 2, so I'm gonna hold up where it is to clue 2. I'm behind because this gorgeous thing, and this takes a little more focus than my tired brain can handle sometimes, but it's great. It's not too bad for focus. It's just, it's so pretty and fun though. It has been so much fun to do. Like clue 1 ended right with the red and yellow in here, this little V in here. Clue 2, what I like about this is it's asymmetric but symmetric, but like, so there's chunks of garter rows like here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then here. And yeah, because I'm looking at it reverse in the filming, that's it. But this is color 4 and color 1 and color 3 and color 2. And now it's back to color 4. And a lot of these garter sections have little fire swamp flames in them. Can't really see it on camera maybe, but then this one didn't. And it was like, what? But it's okay. Just gotta pay attention. And this part is called the Shrieking Eels. This was, let's see. I want to say this is the Tangled Web and this is the Cliffs of Insanity. And this is the Shrieking Eels. And this part was really fun. And I know there's one coming up in clue 3. So I'll try to do that as a morning meditation. This has bobbles and crisscrosses that you don't actually need a cable needle for if you follow her instructions. And she calls it Swords and Stones. So it does make me think of the fencing at the top of the Cliffs of Insanity just a little bit. Or the fencing and then the battle with Bezic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm tired. My names are going out of my head. So yeah, it's been really, really fun. And I think clue 3 is supposed to be longer than clue 2. So my hopes of catching up are dwindling, but depending on how tired I am, I'm going to pick up more with it. This is all done with, Fiber Space Vivacious 4-ply colors. And I really am happy with the combo I picked. I think I would have been happy with any combo, but I just love the 4-ply that has the slightly tonal colors.
It's burnished and strawberry and Pebble Beach and verdigris.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they show up really well. I'm seeing so many people's different color combos and most of them are awesome. And even the ones that don't pop are still super pretty. So if you look up the As You Wish MKAL hashtag for the mystery knit along, you can find all kinds of photos that people are posting. It's really kind of fun. So that's the other thing that I have been spending my time and energy on. And then I look around my living room and my my craft office, I like to call it. And I see all the other projects that are just sitting there going, please work on me, please. And I need more hands or more time.
Clones.
I actually do sleep. So you can't tell it today because I just didn't sleep well. But because shout out to Charlotte. She asked like, she asked, do you sleep? And it was crazy as I answered her and somehow Facebook like just tagged it last night, even though I answered her like a week or 2 ago. Facebook just tagged it last night as spam and removed it. And I don't know how this is spam because they're like spam is stuff that's like disingenuous, like trying to get likes, or which maybe they thought I was being disingenuous. I don't know. Or something that's repeated over and over again. And this was not a phrase. I mean, I have said things like this before, but I wasn't repeating the exact words. I said, no, I sleep. All I do is work at the shop, go home and knit and sleep. So that's how I make progress on stuff. Is there's not a lot going on other than work and sleep, other than knitting. Some days when it's slow, we knit here at the shop, but that's not usual. Sorry. Whew. Running a yarn shop is not sitting around and knitting all day. I wish. No, the yarn could just sell itself. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, so,
I'm not knitting much this week because it's hair change out next weekend.
Oh, you're gearing up for that?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of next weekend. Yeah, we should start wrapping up to open the shop up soon. But speaking of next weekend, I can't believe it's already upon us, but this Sunday is our dual platform virtual sit and stitch event on Sunday afternoon from 1 to 5 p.m. It's already going to be March 20th this Sunday, which is insane. Absolutely. Like what? Insane. So I'm going to go through events in kind of a weird order here, but since I already mentioned Sunday, we've got the virtual sit and stitch, both Facebook Live and Zoom. And anywhere from 1 to 5 p.m., you can kind of chime in and out and see what's going on and hang out with us or have us on in the background or work with us too if you want to. It's totally up to you. 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, that might be differenter. I'm going to use weird words than usual if you live outside of the US because we went through our time change this week. So, check your Google calendars or whatever you have to do to figure out when 1 to 5 is for you, where you are. But that Zoom and also our virtual sit and stitches that happen in the evenings, which is Tuesday tonight and Friday, 7 to 9. Any Zoom shop function that is open to the public is going to use our shop phone number to get in. And that is
828-877-3550.
There you go. Weight room. I'll see you in the weight room. I'll let you in. I might ask you to turn on your camera. And if you can't do it for a long time, just say hi or write a message. Let us know that you're not a Zoom bomber who's going to do weird things. And then we're good. So I covered virtual sit and stitch this week. Tomorrow's going to be the VSC, the most dangerous show of the week, because we'll put something else on sale. This has already been on sale. The
We
lace
don't
stuff's
know
on sale.
what, so
We tend to pick it that morning. Yay. And then dear Becky and Lizzie, people both reminded us, and we remembered things we were going to talk about last week that we forgot, because I guess we were getting ready to be tired for the time change.
so not a fan.
We have a few things we can talk about this Thursday, and if you have other thoughts and questions, let us know, because we're always gearing up for the Ranunculus knit along starting in April. And that, so April's the knit along, yay. And that, again, it's not so much of a, someone was asking, do you have a Zoom group for the knit along? I'm already tired. So we have one Zoom, like set of Zoom groups that are not dedicated to the knit along. They're just dedicated to crafting and hanging out. And
we don't, because we don't believe in deadline knitting. We
Yeah.
don't have specific
mhm.
come hang out and only work on this project.
And that's what some people like. This is only our second knit along, and that's what some people do with knit alongs, is they're like, come hang out at the shop twice a week. Like, these are open-ended times to sit and work on your knit along. And we're still not comfortable, even with things fluctuating in the world. It's because they're still fluctuating. We're still not comfortable with groups hanging out in the shop, and we're still requiring masks in the shop, even though mask mandates and other things like that, a lot of them are dissipating. We're still trying to protect everybody in the shop, which means hanging out for long periods in groups is still a challenge for us, especially to be hosts of. Whenever you're the host of something, there are challenges, whether it be COVID or other things that need to be addressed. And there's a lot to juggle. And I would like to do my best with all of them. But as you can see, I'm tired. And that means I'm not always going to do the best with all of them. So the one we're not tackling right now is gathering in person. Our knit alongs, we're going to be doing a lot of share it online. I'll share what I can on our social media venues as I can. We can use tags and hashtags on the more photo social media venues to try to share stuff. And I'm looking at the clock over there.
Okay.
So anyway.
Well, I realized there was something I was cliffhangering until Tuesday, because our show note that I wrote Thursday is
So-
over there. So it'll be on Thursday.
I was gonna say, oh, that's right. Did we want to wait until is there,
Right?
we still have a couple minutes. Let me finish up.
Okay.
It's like, let
I
me
don't
say,
care.
no, there's too much. Let me sum up. Princess Bride quote. No, but there's so I'm trying to focus more energy on some of our online gatherings and working better at being a host there, because that's tough sometimes too. Anyway, so we don't have a dedicated come to the shop and work on this. In some ways that allows us to engage with people all over the place on our knit along. But it means it's not going to be knit along only. It's going to be rather open-ended. It's going to be share what you can when you can. And the Facebook Sun Dragon KAL page is the place to go if you have questions, because hopefully someone else on that page can answer, because there's one of me and a lot of everybody else. I help when I can, but it's usually got to be lessons at this point so that I can try to be more awake than I am right now.
Be alive.
Did you want to hint at
Yeah.
or just talk about the thing on your
I
list?
can.
It was the ranunculus thing
It was
that I
the
cut you off from
ranunculus
before.
thing.
Let's
So,
get it in. At least part of it.
It was a German notes. The notes were in German, but she had done two colors. She had done a white top with all of the lace and the stuff, and then she did the rest of it was black, but she alternated every other color, kind of Fair Isle.
She did like a
for 3
checkerboard kind of thing.
It was just stripes, but you could do a checkerboard.
Oh, my head was thinking of something different.
Yeah,
Okay.
she just did, every other one black on black, white on white, instead of the checkerboard where you alternate the.
So she was doing like, she did white and then like a row of black and a row of white and a row of black.
Every other black and white in the Fair Isle.
I'm still
fit
thinking
for 3
checkerboard for
rows.
that, but I'll have to look at that later.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing a checkerboard of like, if she was doing one row where it was one black, one white, one black, one white, one black, one white. And then on the next row,
Black on black, white on white, black on black, white on white. So it's stripes, like
Striped
little
this way.
Yes.
oh, that's not okay. I thought it was
The
like,
checkerboard would look really, really cool too.
mhm. That's neat though, because then it's like fingers coming down
Yeah.
from the white and fingers coming
Yeah.
up from the black.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah.
My tired brain just clicked. That would be super cool. So check out the projects. There's so many people who posted their projects of their ranunculus. If we're gonna pluralize it, we've been going with ranunculi. On Ravelry. If you go to the ranunculus pattern and you look at the tabs across the like inset top, it should have people posting their projects, a tab for that, and you can scroll through and look at.
There
the
are
reason
thousands.
the reason we've picked it is because you can do so many different thicknesses of yarn. Like I'm doing both ends of the spectrum. I'm doing a lace weight and I'm doing a worsted weight. You can do it with so many different fibers. So then it'll be appropriate for different seasons. Like if anything, it's kind of overwhelming, but what it boils down to is you can pick whatever yarn you want, knowing that if you do it with the needles written, it'll have a different look. And that's kind of cool. I think that's really cool. So anyway, we should go because the clock says 9, which means it's 10 because I haven't changed it for daylight savings time yet, which is why I'm so tired because we should just be starting to film right now. Oh, you had a lot of fluff in there and now it's not. There's a lot of fluff down in front though.
I know. I gotta wind it all.
She tied things and then let it just in her front. Isn't that fun? All right, we're gonna go open up the shop and see who else actually is coming out this morning when it feels like 9, but it's 10. Yay, it's gonna be such a fun day. Okay, we might see some of you at Sit and Stitch tonight, and if not, we'll see you here on YouTube tomorrow. Bye.
Ah!
I have to keep that in.
It's starting to